Inspections. When we teach company officer, one of the things we say that probably the most visible part of the fire service, the most interactive part of the fire service is the company officer. In agencies that have inspectors, you can go one step further. Separate inspectors from company officers oftentimes see a lot more of the general public, especially the business end of it, when they conduct their inspections. So just as it's important for a company officer to have interpersonal skills, it's equally important for an inspector to have those same interpersonal skills as well. Good communication, the ability to communicate effectively. A lot of people ask me, why do my courses contain written assignments? Written assignments give you the ability to write down or articulate your thoughts in writing. Those written assignments give you the ability to practice, to get better at writing, to writing research ways, and to write and report in consensus ways. There's differences between creative writing, things you learn in English classes, and then the type of writing that you need in the fire service, which is more technical based. Research writing, for example, things like that. All of these types of skills in terms of written communication are important. But again, verbal communication, the interaction, the interpersonal skills, confidence, self-confidence, to be able to communicate with somebody in an authoritative manner, but not to come off haughty or disrespectful. Again, these are all important aspects of an inspector. Another aspect of communication skills, very important aspect of communication skills, is being a good listener. It's very important to listen to everything that your customer has to tell you, because there may be explanations, there may be information in there that could be useful while you're doing your inspection. What the customer relates to you during the inspection and during the communication phase is also going to be important for you to note in your report. So you want to be a good listener to be able to take that information in and later recall that when you sit down and write your report. Taking notes is also very important. This way the person gets the impression that you're also writing down what they're telling them in an effort to help or be able to communicate those in the course of your inspection. Another important aspect of communication is the nonverbals. It's very important for you to use your body language effectively. You want to make sure that your body language conveys the proper message. Appearance is a very important thing. You want to make sure that as an inspector, you have a professional appearance, clean, kept appearance, because that will say a lot about the nonverbal aspect of you, will convey a lot of information, as well as how you articulate or how you discuss or communicate with the customer. Another often overlooked attribute of a fire inspector is the ability to persuade. You need to be persuasive when dealing with the customers. Oftentimes you may have to inform them of something that you want done. Rather than having to rely on laws or specific ordinance to enforce it, persuasive conversation can be a very hopeful way to resolve the problem. To be able to communicate with them in a way to get them to agree with your point is an attribute of persuasive communication. When preparing to do an inspection, it's important that you look at the aspects. Again, first of all, your appearance. Professional appearance, very important. Is your uniform pressed? Are you clean? Does it give an appearance of professionalism when you walk in? Check it yourself in the mirror. See how you look to make sure that everything is on correctly. Is your name tag straight? Are your badges in their proper location? Is your collar brass facing the right direction? All of those things are very important going in to do that inspection. If you look professional, it basically conveys that nonverbal sense of assuredness. It also gives you the ability to command a little bit more respect, because the more professional you look, the more time it takes for somebody to look at your uniform and see that you have taken the time to look good, that you're meticulous about your uniform, therefore you're going to be meticulous about your inspection as well. Again, going into the inspection, are you going into an environment that may be hazardous? Are there going to be necessary self-precautions such as hearing protection, respiratory protection, eye protection? All those things are going to be required of you. It's always a good idea to bring your own equipment. That way you can protect yourself, number one, and number two, you show the individual that you're aware of what their operation is and that you know that you're going to adhere to proper safety precautions as they would be expected to as well. Another thing you want to consider when you're going to do an inspection is the length of the inspection. How long is it going to take you? Big buildings, industries that have a lot of processes may take you a little bit longer than smaller ones. So again, understanding how long is this inspection going to take and be able to appropriately put that time aside to be able to do it. Again, you don't want to go into a large building at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to conduct an inspection knowing that you get off at 5. Because you're not going to have enough time to complete it and be forced to come back. And that could be an imposition not only to the building owner, but it could cause you to have difficulties as well in remembering what parts you covered. So being organized, planning the appropriate amount of time is very important, a part of preparation for that inspection. Another thing you want to do is call the building owner in advance. If this is an inspection that's not required to be done on the spot, then you want to make sure that you have ample notification so that the building owner can be prepared for your arrival and also have the appropriate necessary items in place. For example, keys or maybe specific people that might be able to answer questions regarding systems, things like that. These are all important things that you want to give the building owner an opportunity to have on hand. They may have a safety director who specifically addresses those issues regarding inspections and things like that. This gives them an opportunity to be prepared for when you show up to do your inspection. Another thing that's always good to go into before you do the inspection and look at the older inspection reports. What has been identified in the past? Is there a trend? For example, every time somebody goes, is there egress points that are being blocked, or are there specific systems that are not functioning properly? You want to go in and you want to make sure that these things are especially looked at to make sure that there isn't a continuous violation. Again, look at old inspection reports. Find out if the building is normally kept in good shape and you go in and you start finding a number of violations. Maybe there's been some changes recently. Maybe their inspections or internal inspections are not being conducted or done properly. That may be a useful tool for you because you can point out that the lack of internal inspections have resulted in a number of violations. So again, these are all interesting things that you can bring to the inspection even before you conduct the inspection.